right?
Good, good. How are you, Mark?
Good. Awesome.
Hey, Mark, I know you don't pay that much attention to the offensive side because you're looking at your own side, but obviously some big guys left on the offensive side here, and teams that, Duke and Clive and Dorsett, all of them had the game plan for. When you look at the offense now going up against them, who are guys that, defensive coordinators are going to be worried about?
Well, I think, obviously we've got tailbacks that can carry the ball, and they're coming in different shapes and sizes. Gus being really big and also fast, so he's going to be a guy, I think, at 235 plus pounds, who really runs well. I think that everybody's going to have to deal with it. And obviously, Joe has a skill set to break the big ones and make people miss. So there are a few other guys over there doing that on the perimeter. Obviously, Coley, we all know what he's capable of doing. We've seen that. Rayshawn Scott has been really, really impressive, and that's not surprising to me because last year he redshirted, but he was able to come back and we saw him do some things, and he flashed, but he's been very competitive and he's been going for the ball. And then we're playing with multiple tight ends, so those guys are starting to get a chance to see. Stan is a guy that's improved every year, and you start to see Chris Herndon over there. So you definitely feel, these are the guys that you feel. That's the question you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Who gives you a matchup problem, those sorts of things. So that's
right.
Across the board, we still have that size and athleticism at the tight end position. We have guys that have multiple roles. We have a lot of different receivers. Obviously, you got Herb, you got Braxton. So it's a good skill group. Malcolm, right? I mean, there's a lot of guys that have played ball around here and done some good things. So.
How about the offensive linemen? Because there are a lot of new guys.
Yeah, you know what? I probably feel the skill guys more because those are the ones that result in the plays, right? So if we're missing a tackle on somebody, or they're gaining 7 yards on a run, or they're catching a pass down the field, those are the guys. I'm usually not just sitting there and concentrating on who's up front. But obviously we have a number of guys. We have a lot of big guys. I think we signed 6 or so in this class, so I know those guys will have to make some impact, just like last year's freshmen did. Casey and Trevor and Nick, all came in here and had a good impact, and we were able to be successful. So, again, not being my side of the ball, I anticipate that being, in the same case this year, that some guys will come in and have an impact added to those guys.
Well, on your side of the ball, what about Jaquan? Has he shown maybe signs early that he could be a guy who could help out right away?
Jaquan Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a smart guy, smart football player, very instinctive. So obviously the combination there, safety being the hardest position. You guys have heard me say that before, but have a chance to come in mid-year is huge, which he did. And the fact that he is a smart football player and he is instinctive, will give him a great opportunity. It's still hard regardless. Right now, it's still going to be hard because the pace of the game and the different amount of coverages and things that we're doing is always going to be hard on a young guy who just came in, but he's handling it well.
Is Muhammad best as a rush end, or is he a guy who can play every down now?
Rush end. Well, I mean, our rush, we play with the rush end on every.
Okay, but I'm sorry, I mean, not third down. Sorry, third down.
Third down. No, he's got to be a first and second down player. When he played for us as a freshman, what I try to do with those guys is really, like we did last year with Chad, is we give them that role first. We're going to make sure, hey, where can they impact the team easiest, without having to learn everything, and where they can just, get their skill in the game, and that's usually, where we've added those guys on third down. But obviously, in the case of both guys, Juan not being here last year, being his second year, and Chad, they're really going to have to be every down players for us, and we'll feel their impact on the field because they're both guys who can do a lot of good things.
In terms of the linebacker, go ahead.
Muhammad's definitely added weight since he last played. Can you see it on the field? Do you sense it in his strength and power?
He's always had a natural strength about him. You know what I mean? Where he just played strong. Where he could set the edge as an outside linebacker, and he could certainly bull rush and do all that kind of stuff. But I see it. The thing that I do see that I'm really excited about is he's gained that weight, but he's become more fluid and twitchier in a short area. So his when we do drop him, his drops have been good. And improved, and he really did a good job of just he just has recall, which is great for a guy who hadn't really practiced very much since part of summer camp. He's got a lot of recall in what we're doing, so he's not out here making mental errors right now, and so he's bigger and stronger, and he looks more fluid as well.
In terms of the linebacking group, we talked about the other day the depth issues there already. You were down 2 the other day. How did you guys deal with that, and what was it like to have them back out here today?
It's good. Again, the guys who have to deal with it are the other linebackers.
Right.
So that's when 2 guys don't take care of their business and they're not on the field, the other linebackers get a little unhappy, especially if it's 82 degrees and humid and they have to take all the reps. So but we'll deal with it, and I think that's part of the lesson, is that the practice is going to go on. At the end of the day, the practice is going to go on, and last year we had situations that arose. We lost 3 guys in the front 7 before the season. We lost a safety due to injury. We still had to improve, and we still did. So, that's really, I think the lesson learned for those guys. So, from a standpoint of, how practice went from the staff, we had a couple of, corners injured. We had a safety injured. We had a couple of linebackers who were out. We had a D lineman out. So we really felt it in the numbers, and we could see that the guys felt it, and the guys who felt it were the ones who were in practice. So that's just kind of a message to everybody else. Take care of your business. If you're banged up, and you can practice, you got to go. You got to take care. You got to take care of the rest of your teammates.
Mark, getting back to Quan, not Muhammad, but Jaquan Johnson.
Yep.
I guess he's working at safety mostly, right,
Yes.
at camp.
Yes.
Because of his weight, needing to put more on, I'm guessing. Is there a chance you could have him play some cornerback?
He has the skill set, I think.
Okay.
I don't think we try to put that burden on him. I
Okay.
never really try to give multiple positions to a first-year player. That's really, practice we try to stay away from.
Right.
Putting that guy in a bind. So, in an emergency, if we had to do it down the road, yes. But right now, we don't have the need to do that.
Seems like you want him to just focus on safety and learn it.
Yes.
And is it part of that just because of the depth you guys have there? You seem like you have some.
Yeah, again, right now we're in a situation. Obviously, Rayshawn hasn't practiced yet, and so Quan's getting second reps. He's getting those reps, which is great. Again, that's what spring practice is for. We're not necessarily worried about the starting lineup or how everybody's gelling and all that. We're working a lot of different combinations. We're giving different guys different chances on against the ones someday and twos other days, and just mixing and matching. So just really about getting better and improving, getting reps.
All right, guys. Last question.
How is Rayshawn Jenkins back, and what's the plan to kind of get him back in action here?
Yeah, that's the trainers and the doctors. I know he's made a lot of progress, so I don't have a set date for you, but I know he's making progress, and again, that'll be between the trainers, the doctors, and Sean. But obviously, we're anxious to get him back out here.
Hey, Mark.
Think it could be after spring break or something like that, or do you anticipate him coming back?
Possibly, yeah. Well, I hope so. I think that's the plan, that we get him back at some point here during the spring. So exactly when, I'm not sure.
Mark, I just want to ask you about Anthony Moulton. He played a lot of games last year, but what do you?
I'm not sure.
Well,
He was.
Moulton did. He played
Moulton,
9
that's
games.
right. He played.
Anthony
Thinking of the other guy,
Moulton.
Big
Played 9
Hamilton,
games. He
sorry.
had 2 I think mostly special teams, right? But he's on top of the depth chart. What do you see his role? And talk about him.
Here's what Anthony did: Anthony took advantage of bowl practice. We always talk about bowl practice, and the disadvantage we had those years we couldn't go to bowls and got those 15 practices. Anthony kind of, as a freshman, he hit the wall probably at one point where he kind of didn't get the reps that he wanted to get, and then when we got to bowl practice and it slowed down for him, he really got better. And in the game, he flashed in that game. He made a couple of plays. He converted a couple of pass rushes where he was about to, really, you saw his skill set. You saw him hit the quarterback. I saw him run down a guy on our sideline from the opposite side of the field and insert himself in there. So, to me, that's where he took a leap. He took a leap in that month, and so he's continuing to get better, and he's taking the coaching right now from Randy, and I expect big things from him. There's a lot of young guys that have to step up. They have the potential, and now they have to realize it.
Is he on top of the depth chart because of the spring conditioning program?
just
wondering.
just kind of where we're at right now as far as our numbers go. We've tried to spread it out a little bit. Kind of had a log jam at nose tackle. Played Cortell over at tackle, which is Moulton's position. Cortell's not really played that yet, so it really isn't so much of a depth chart issue. It's just getting guys lined up, trying to get guys equal amount of reps, and creating competition.
Okay, thank you.